bucks.
Good morning. March is coming in like a lion on both coasts, with the Northeast still bracing for a major winter storm and snowfall of up to 2 feet in some areas. And the West Coast expected to be hammered by more heavy wind and rain today, Monday, March the 5th, 2001.
From NBC News, this is Today with Katie Curry and Matt Lauer. Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And welcome to Today on this Monday morning, everyone. I'm Katie Couric.
And I'm Matt Lauer. Not exactly what we expected to wake up to. That lion hasn't exactly started to roar in New York City yet.
That's right, and the anticipation is really starting to get to me. Meanwhile, the extra time has meant extra preparation time for what is still expected to be a major winter storm. New Jersey's acting governor has already declared a state of emergency there. Schools are closed in many parts of the region, including here in New York City, where as much as a foot of snow is expected by tomorrow morning. Hundreds of flights in and out of the Northeast have been canceled, and stores have been packed with people stocking up on supplies.
Moving further to the Northeast, in Boston, where they still remember the blizzard of '78, forecasters are saying they could be hit nearly as hard by this storm, with blizzard-like conditions developing this afternoon and 2 feet of snow or more expected there.
Meanwhile, Al Roker is already outside checking things out. He's got the latest on the storm track. Hi, Al.
Thanks a lot, Katie. And if March isn't roaring yet, it certainly is growling, because we're starting to see freezing rain and sleet out here right now. Take a look at the latest radar and the areas of white, that snow. The pink is a mixed frozen precipitation, and that is starting to get itself together as the low pressure system works its way up past from the Delmarva Peninsula. Right now, 30 in New York City, 35 Washington, Boston 30, but look at the winds. Right now, we've got winds, sustained winds of 30 miles per hour in New York, 30 in Atlantic City, 22 in Boston, and with the wind chills, it feels like 2 above in Boston and LaGuardia, 16 in Atlantic City, 3 in Binghamton. This storm now is starting to draw colder air into it, and that means what you're seeing is frozen precipitation will start to form more like snow, and we're going to start piling it up. So we're going to take a look in the next few minutes exactly what we expect this storm to do. But first, that's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Good morning, folks. Welcome back to a Monday, and our view outside, beautiful, glorious sunrise. Our Northwest Sky Cam, Rose City camera. Going to have partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy conditions across the Rose City for this morning. But as the day moves along, these clouds coming up out of California will begin to break up as high pressure builds in across the entire Pacific Northwest. So here's the forecast for you for the day. Morning clouds, maybe a sprinkle, then partly cloudy skies by midday. Our high today, 58 degrees.
That's the latest here on the plaza. Now back inside to Matt. We'll start our wraparound of what's going on.
All right, Al, thank you very much. The advance warnings on the storm had people scurrying to buy groceries and stock up on salt and snow shovels. NBC's Robert Hager is uptown a little bit in New York Central Park, and he's been keeping an eye on all the preparations. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Matt. Well, as you can see, what we've got right now is a light precipitation, a sort of a mixture of sleet and light snow. Traffic is moving lightly this morning because there simply aren't very many people coming into work. But as you see, we've got some little accumulation here, kind of a crusty mess on the surface. And New Jersey has declared a state of emergency this morning. Connecticut has banned all tractor trailers from any highways in the state. The airports have already canceled many flights this morning, and schools are canceled in many, many places throughout the Northeast, including here in New York City. Let's take a look. Snow began Sunday, starting in Pennsylvania and West Virginia, moving through New Jersey and into New England, continuing after nightfall. In Pittsburgh, about 4 inches overnight. A driver describes it.
Out here right now, they're terrible.
These scenes during the night from Connecticut, and a woman in New York.
I want to go home.
The wet snowfall overnight has been light for the most part, and sometimes an icy mixture of sleet and freezing rain. In New Jersey, state police brief acting governor Donald DeFrancesco.
We have a major winter storm that is coming up from the south to the north.
New York City's mayor Rudy Giuliani.
We're going to try and make sure that we get the snow removed as fast as possible. And then we need people to cooperate and use public transportation.
Already Sunday, air travel disrupted. Hundreds of flights canceled as airlines maneuver to keep planes from getting trapped at snow-threatened airports. Long lines at ticket counters, passengers complaining.
It's gotten to the point where I'm thinking, would it be better if I rented a car? I don't mind driving 10 hours out of the way, but I need to get back.
Shoppers snatching up last-minute supplies.
Flashlights, batteries, videos to the kids.
An expectant mom worries if her time comes, will she make it to the hospital?
I have this vision of this contraction and pain, and I'm writhing in pain, and we're just moving like this.
But so far, not bad. Still, the worst may be yet to come.
At New York's LaGuardia Airport this morning, American Airlines has already canceled all its flights. U.S. Air and Delta have canceled half of theirs and will reassess as the day goes on. And so that includes the busy Washington, New York, Boston shuttle runs as the region hunkers down to see what's coming. Matt?
All right, Bob, battening down the hatches. NBC's Robert Hager in New York this morning. 7:05. Here's Katie.
Thank you, Matt. As we said, New Jersey's acting governor declared a state of emergency Sunday afternoon, and while northern parts of the state are expected to be blanketed in heavy snow this afternoon, the coastal areas are already getting pounded, and residents are worried about beach erosion. NBC's Pat Dawson is on the beach in Belmar, New Jersey. Pat, good morning.
Good morning, Katie. This is the situation here. As you can see, the good news is we haven't had any snow, but then we weren't expecting a lot of snow, perhaps 6 to 8 to 10 inches at most. The problem here, out there, the water and what could happen. We've got 4 foot, the waves are at 4 feet above normal tides at this point, and they're being driven by this. As you step out into this, you get the full force of a northeaster's wind. This is what's driving the ocean right now, and it's a sustained wind, sustained winds of about 25 to 30 miles an hour. And it rolls up to about 45 to 50 miles an hour, and that's going to be sustained over the course of the next 36 hours. Now, the effect of that, of course, is that this is a very low-lying area along the New Jersey shoreline, and there can be a lot of flooding. That's what they're afraid of here. It is high tide now. They've gotten through the first high tide. It was this morning about 5 a.m. There's another one this afternoon at 4 o'clock. But the real question is, as this storm sits out there, and we know it's going to sit out there, and these northeast winds pound against the ocean and the surf and drive it in here, how bad will the flooding be? That's a question for the people who live along here. Right now, Katie, no evacuations as yet, but they're waiting to see how bad it gets over the next 12 to 24 to 36 hours. Katie?
NBC's Pat Dawson. Pat, thanks so much. Our own Al Roker is still forecasting 2 feet of snow or more for the Boston area, numbers that remind people up there of the blizzard of '78. NBC's Rahema Ellis is in Revere, Massachusetts, where things have been pretty nasty all morning long. Rahema, how you doing up there?
Right now, I'm trying to maintain my footing, Katie. The wind is the story here right now, much as what Pat was talking about. There's only a dusting of snow on the ground, but what people are really concerned about at this moment is those strong winds gusting up to 50 miles an hour, and in some places they think it could be even as high as 70 miles an hour. That's hurricane strength. That's going to lead, they say, to some severe coastal flooding and beach erosion along this area, so they're keeping a watch out on that. In anticipation also of this snowstorm, and that they say could rival the blizzard of '78, which they had 27 inches then. They say this one's going to be measured in feet. It could be anywhere from 3, maybe even 4 feet inland. They have declared a snow emergency in the state of Massachusetts, in the Boston area, in the city of Boston. They've already begun towing cars off the main roads so that those snow plows will be able to do their work. And school has been canceled for most kids in the area. They're saying to people, stay inside and ride this out. They expect the worst of this to come this afternoon. It could be anywhere from 4 to 5 inches by drive time this evening.
Wow.
And they say it's going to be maybe an inch an hour and then go into the night and tomorrow
Wow,
morning.
we can tell how bad it is because the camera lens is really blurry. And Rahema, another quick question. What kind of precautions or measures are they taking to stave off problems like flooding and beach erosion?
Well, one of the things that they do, as you can see here, they've done it for years, Katie. It's been in place for years. They have a seawall here. They hope that's going to help. They're also keeping a close eye on what's happening along this area. And they say, if need be, they'll be ready to evacuate people from their homes if it gets that bad.
All right, Rahema Ellis in Revere, Massachusetts. Rahema, thanks so much. Thank your cameraman for cleaning off the lens for us, will ya?
Will do.
Well, hang in there. It's 7:09. Now, here's Matt.
All right, Katie, thank you. As we noted, the West Coast is also getting battered by heavy rain and high winds. The severe weather has brought down trees on homes and cars and caused flight cancellations all up and down the coast. Jennifer Bjorklund of our station KNBC is 40 miles north of Los Angeles in Castaic, California. Jennifer, good morning to you. I'm looking. It doesn't look all that terrible. What are forecasters telling you to expect?
Well, they are telling us to brace ourselves once again. You talk about anticipating your storm over on the East Coast. Well, over here we're doing the same thing. We were expecting a pounding this weekend. We got it in some areas. But talk about your disorganized storm systems. We're actually having sunshine coming up over here. A few raindrops hitting us from the back. And we can tell you wind has been the big problem all over the state. In Bakersfield especially, wind howling through, knocking things over, taking down fences. And this I-5 that is behind me here was closed down this morning early because of winds, gusts up to 70 miles an hour at the top of the Grapevine, which is a major artery in and out of Los Angeles. So a lot of truck drivers spending the night on the side of the road, and a flood advisory actually attached to this storm because we have had so much more rain here than the ground can soak up. So we're expecting a lot of runoff, so that flood advisory all throughout the state. Our seasonal average in LA is 15 inches of rain. We have already surpassed that. And we are expecting to get a little bit more rain before this system is gone. Matt?
All right, Jennifer Bjorklund, we've got wind and rain, and that means there could be some mudslides up and down the coast as well. Jennifer, thank you very much. It's 10 past the hour right now. Now with the rest of the news, here's Ann Curry.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. In other news this morning, today the Navy convenes a rare court of inquiry to investigate whether negligence played a role in last month's submarine accident. And in attendance will be relatives of the 9 people who are presumed dead. NBC's George Lewis reports.
Starting this morning, inside this military courtroom at Pearl Harbor, the U.S. Navy will begin calling witnesses as it tries to unravel the causes behind the accident. It was February 9th when the nuclear sub USS Greenville collided with the Japanese vessel Ehime Maru, sending it to the bottom of the ocean, a depth of 2,000 feet. Now the question, were the skipper of the sub, Commander Scott Waddell, and his top officers negligent in any way? If the 3 admirals running the court find that's the case, Waddell and the others could be court-martialed.
This court of inquiry is designed to get to the facts and so that appropriate recommendations can be made.
As the Navy prepares its inquiry, the families of 5 of the 9 Japanese presumed dead gathered in Hawaii to mourn their loved ones. They, too, want answers and plan to attend the court sessions. Today's scheduled lead-off witness, the admiral who conducted the preliminary investigation into the accident, an investigation that questions whether the Greenville's skipper and crew followed correct procedures as they took 16 civilians on a demonstration ride. George Lewis, NBC News, Pearl Harbor, Hawaii.
Investigators have recovered the data recorders from a National Guard plane that crashed Saturday in Georgia, killing 21 people. But muddy conditions at the crash site have hampered the recovery of the bodies. On board the plane were 18 members of the Virginia Air National Guard and 3 members of the Florida Army National Guard. There was a horrible accident last night in Portugal where a bridge collapsed, sending a double-decker tour bus and 2 cars plunging into the river below. At least 64 people were aboard the bus, and there have been no signs of any survivors. The government has ordered an official inquiry. Accused spy Robert Hansen will be in court this afternoon in Virginia. Government prosecutors are trying to keep him in jail until he goes on trial. Meantime, authorities are learning more about the secrets that Hansen may have revealed. NBC's Pete Williams reports.
Former government intelligence officials confirm that the U.S. dug a secret tunnel to this embassy building in Washington, built for the Soviets, now occupied by the Russians. And the FBI now fears that the tunnel's existence was one of the top-secret counterintelligence programs revealed to the Russians by Robert Hansen, the former FBI agent accused of spying.
It was certainly one of the largest and most expensive technical operations the United States had against Russia.
Intelligence experts say the U.S. dug the tunnel up to the building's foundations and used it to plant electronic eavesdropping devices intended to pick up teletype messages and voices on phone lines.
The big advantage to me would be that you might be able to listen in to, through equipment, to conversations inside the embassy itself.
Officials won't say when the tunnel was dug. The embassy was built in the 1970s and 80s, but not fully staffed until the end of the Cold War. During construction, the Russians claimed to have found dozens of electronic bugs hidden in building materials, just as Americans were claiming that bugs riddled the new U.S. embassy under construction in Moscow.
Former U.S. intelligence officials say the tunnel program never yielded much useful information, either because of technical problems or because the Russians found out about it. Pete Williams, NBC News, Washington.
California Governor Gray Davis will make an announcement about the power crisis in his state today. He is expected to say the state has secured a first round of long-term contracts for cheaper electricity. California's two biggest utilities are struggling financially and haven't been able to supply enough power. And there is a new honor for former President Reagan. On Sunday, former First Lady Nancy Reagan christened a new $4 billion aircraft carrier, the USS Ronald Reagan. It is the first carrier to be christened in the name of a living former president, and it happened on the Reagan's 49th wedding anniversary. He turned 90 in February. And it is now 7:15. Let's turn now back to Katie and Matt. And you know, Mrs. Reagan said, "I want to thank the Navy for giving us such a wonderful present." Such a little thing.
Right. She did a good job.
She did. Good
cracking
swing.
that bottle. Anyway, Al Roker is outside once again with the check of the weather.
That's right, Katie, and we're going to look at the next 24 hours, show you what's going. This is a classic nor'easter. Take a look, and we'll show you. Here's the storm system off the Delmarva Peninsula. It's starting to deepen, starting to strengthen. The sleet goes away along the coast. It becomes mostly snow, and we look at blizzard-like conditions. Here's what we expect as far as accumulations by tomorrow afternoon. Up to 3 feet in Boston and Albany, New York. Binghamton, about 21 inches. 26 in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Central Park here in New York, 8 to 14 inches of snow. Plus, we have coastal flood damage expected, 2 to 5 foot storm surges, gusts of 75 miles per hour, gale force winds as well. So it is going to be a real messy 24 hours here in the Northeast with this storm. All right, now let's go back inside the Katie.
Al, thank you very much. We have an update now on that little Canadian toddler who wandered into the snow last week and nearly froze to death. Her body temperature dropped to 61 degrees and her heart stopped beating, but miraculously she survived. And she continued to make great progress over the weekend. Dr. Nadine Meehan is her pediatrician at the Stollery Children's Health Center in Edmonton, Canada. Dr. Meehan, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
How is little Erica doing? Have you seen her this morning?
Yeah, I've seen her this morning, and I'm pleased to report that she's doing extraordinarily very well. Yesterday also, when I saw her, just like any other toddler, she would like to come out of the crib and would like to roam around. Considering she has been pretty advanced in her development, and she was walking around 8.5 months or so, so she would like to get out and move around, but there are some limitations to that right now.
In fact, I know that doctors were particularly worried about frostbite and about the potential for amputation either of her fingers or hands, her toes, or her feet. I know you unwrapped, I guess, her hands over the weekend. How are her hands and fingers doing?
Actually, especially the left hand, is looking amazingly well, and she has been moving those fingers very well. There are some scars on that, which you're not surprised, but there is no deformity of any type I could see at this stage. On the right side, there are some blisters which are bothering her, so she still has some dressing on that. But hands are really well, and she should be able to use them very well.
And what about her feet, Dr. Meehan?
Feet on the right side, it's again doing extraordinarily very well. On the left side, we're still a little concerned about her forefoot and the toes. But we're still, it's a matter of wait and see, and hopefully if the circulation continues to be established and she fights out, then hopefully we might be able to save those.
Apparently there's an old medical expression that I had never heard of before last night, which is freeze in January, operate in July. Does that mean you need to basically give the tissue as much time as possible to see if it will in fact repair?
Well, we'll see as long as we are taking it day by day right now, and as long as there is any signs of recovery, then we'll carry on watching as long as there is no secondary complication in that area. And the bone scan which we did over the weekend also showed good perfusion in that area, so we're quite hopeful.
I understand frostbite victims are particularly prone to infection, and she did have a slight infection over the weekend and was placed on IV antibiotics. How is she doing in that regard?
Well, she has been doing very well from that point of view also, because her temperature has settled down very nicely while she has been on intravenous antibiotics. And she's, as I said, when you look at those lesions, there's no evidence of local infection in that area. So, no, I'm quite hopeful.
I know that doctors have said it may be quite some time before they can truly ascertain whether there was, in fact, brain damage. But from your observation of this little girl, do you have any indication as to whether or not she did suffer brain damage?
Well, so far I would say probably not at all, because she's behaving so well. She's interacting with her mother, There are nursing staff around her, medical staff, and she's just behaving like 1 year old. And whether she would have any difficulty down the road over the months and years to come with her any learning difficulties or some other, it's hard to say at this stage.
And finally, how's her mom doing? We just saw some videotape of her mom, Layla Nordby, with her little girl. Obviously, this was a very traumatic thing for her as well. How's she getting along?
I think it has been a lot for her, I guess, over the last week and a bit. She has been through a lot of turmoil, and especially holding a baby frozen almost to death and then reviving and going through that, and then a lot of public and media attention. I think she has managed it very well, and I'm quite happy, and she's quite pleased with the outcome of the baby's condition.
Well, Dr. Nadine Meehan, thanks again for talking with us. It seems she's in very good hands. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Katie.
It is 7:20. We'll be back in a moment. This is Today on NBC.
Hi, I'm Jack McGowan. My family and I, along with all these folks, are going to be walking along the entire coastline of Oregon. Why not join us for the Solve Oregon Legacy Walk, presented by Nike?
The walk benefits volunteerism in Oregon. So pick your stretch of coastline and start taking your pledges today.
You can also make a pledge for every mile we walk.
Register now for the Solve Oregon Legacy Walk, presented by Nike, sponsored by News Channel 8.
Imagine if you could explore the wonders of the open sea without getting wet. Now you can. The Oregon Coast Aquarium's new Passages of the Deep exhibit. Immerse yourself.
Don't miss Portland Opera's searing production of Dialogues of the Carmelites, based on the true story about the martyrdom of 16 nuns during a time known as the Reign of Terror. You have never experienced anything like it. Beginning March 24th, call 503-790-ARTS for tickets. In a world of overprocessed, artificial foods, you'll be glad to know that you're witnessing the most extensive process our cheese will ever go through. The fresh and crispy Baja Fish Taco, a home-style flour tortilla stuffed with a spicy fish fillet, chipotle ranch sauce, shredded cheddar cheese, and our very own fresh tomato salsa. Back for a limited time, only at Taco Time.
Now, KGW.com announces another feature to help you through your commute. Every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m., ask Bill Diaz live online from the ODOT Traffic Center for all the hot spots. Now, only on KGW.com. Sponsored by Activate Cellular.
Coming up in our next half hour, you watched The Sopranos last night.
I did.
The first of 2 of the premiere episodes.
Yeah, I could only stay up for 1.
Exactly. In the second episode, actress Nancy Marchand was brought back to life. We'll tell you how they did that.
I kept wondering how would she feel about that. Yeah. Anyway, but first these messages and your local news.
At ERA, we believe real estate isn't just about property. It's about people, understanding their needs, doing whatever it takes. It's helping the Perez family get a mortgage for their first home, then finding their movers, home warranty, even their home security system. It's giving the Simpsons an online profile of neighborhoods and school systems and helping them make sense of it all. Every time we help someone buy or sell a home, we help write a new chapter in their lives. ERA Real Estate.
When Greg met Pam's parents, it didn't start well.
Welcome to Oyster Baker. Great. Oh.
The situation deteriorated.
Did you flush this toilet?
No. The septic tank is overflowing. And just when things couldn't get worse, they did.
That's a lovely vase.
That's an urn, which holds the remains of Jack's mother.
Meet the Parents, the funniest film of the year. Own it on video and DVD tomorrow.
Now there's a new way to resist temptation. Thick, nutritious, delicious Metabolife ready-to-drink shakes are a more satisfying way to reduce calories and fat in your diet. It's the special ingredients that make the difference, and you're gonna love the result. Metabolife meal replacement shakes really help keep you going. So don't just replace a meal. Enjoy the delicious shake that has earned the Metabolife name. Look for Metabolife shakes at fine stores everywhere. From the makers of Metabolife 356. Transform your hair with the power of heat and Thermosilk.
Credit card statements, CD, money market.
Those banks. They nail us with high credit card rates and pay us nothing on our CDs. There's no escape.
Don't worry, I switched everything to Capital One.
Oh, no.
To the neighbor! Capital One offers some of the best rates in the nation on CDs, money market accounts, and platinum cards. What's in your wallet?
At Pearl Vision, we'll help you select eyewear as individual as you are. Right now, save $75 on glasses with micro thins, the thinnest, lightest, most scratch-resistant lens in sight.
Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
Look!
Well, that's an angel throwing a curveball.
We are all born dreamers. At Key, we'll bring together the right people with the right resources to help you achieve anything, even a PhD.
Look.
That's an angel throwing a curveball.
Key, achieve anything.
All our kids are sports nuts. Michael and Brendan play football.
Maggie and John play basketball. Tom also coaches football.
With this many family members driving, we need to have a good auto insurance company. And we do. We have American Family.
Fantastic agent, fantastic service. It's a secure feeling because we're always on the go.
Thank goodness they drive themselves to practice.
All your protection under one roof.
American Family Insurance.
News Channel 8 can also be seen on these local translators. This is a News Channel 8 update.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Russ Lewis. It is 7:27 and 47 degrees outside in downtown Portland. Here's what's making news on this Monday morning. Rod Strickland may once again be a Portland Trailblazer. News Channel 8 caught up with him as he arrived at PDX late last night. The Wizards guard is expected to sign with the Blazers as early as today. The 34-year-old becomes a free agent today after he clears waivers from Washington, freeing him up to sign with a playoff-bound team such as Portland. 3 Oregon men held hostage in the jungle of Ecuador are back home and enjoying time with their families now. They told us their harrowing story this weekend. Held captive in South America almost 5 months, they finally returned to Oregon soil early Saturday morning. The town of Gold Hill is decked out in yellow ribbons in their honor. A parade is planned for this Saturday. Bill Diaz joins us now for a look at the morning commute. Bill, good morning.
Well, good morning, Russ. Thank you. On the ramp from 82nd to I-84 westbound, they're clearing an accident right now. Meanwhile, traffic on the Sunset Highway pretty slow in both directions, moving past Highway 217. There is bright sunshine now on the Sylvan Hill. On I-5 northbound, very heavy traffic, slow from Capitol Highway through the Terwilliger curves. Live from the ODOT Traffic Command Center, I'm Bill Diaz, now with the forecaster's Dave Selesky.
Thanks very much, Bill. We do have some clouds across the area right now, but plenty of breaks in the overcast at this time. And as the day moves along, we're going to see more breaks in the overcast and fewer clouds as the storm track is moving to the south of us into parts of California. Here's a quick look outside right now under partly cloudy skies. The temperature now 47 degrees. The wind is out of the north. Our forecast today calls for morning clouds, maybe a sprinkle, then partly cloudy skies. Today's high, 58 degrees. Now, Russ, back to you.
Thanks, Dave. That's all for now. Another update coming up in 25 minutes. Have a good morning.
Excavation damage can cause injury and cut utility lines.
It's tempting to simply start digging on your own property, but there's a lot at stake.
This homeowner did the right thing. Dig safely by following 4 key points. Call before you dig. This notifies facility operators to locate underground lines in your excavation area. Wait 2 business days for the marking and always respect the marks. Once you've done all that, go ahead and dig with care and you won't dig yourself into trouble.
Sponsored by Northwest Natural and News Channel 8.
You know how it starts. One little bag of French roast, and the next thing you know, you've got beans from half of Africa. You grind fresh for each cup, and to top it off, you want rich, you want creamy. So I always use Mocha Mix. It tastes positively sinful, but it's low in saturated fat and has no cholesterol. I confess, I love coffee. And Mocha Mix makes it sinfully rich and creamy, without the sin.
Available in fat-free, light, and original varieties.
We are back now at 7:30 on a Monday morning. It's March 5th, in the year 2001. You're looking at a crowd of people gathered outside our studio windows, and I'll tell you, if you'd looked at the weather forecast earlier in the weekend, you thought this would be an impossible scene on a Monday morning. We were expecting a major dumping of snow. Now Al tells us that snow has just been delayed by about 12 to 24 hours.
Right, and once it starts, it is not going to stop for about another 12.
So travel's going to be a mess, and people who don't have to be out should not be out.
Absolutely.
We're going to have more on the weather in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, inside the studio, I'm Matt Lauer, along with Katie Couric and Al Roker. And coming up in this half hour, The Sopranos. Nancy Marchand, the actress who played mob boss Tony Soprano's manipulative mother on the HBO show, died over the summer. But last night, she was brought back to life for one final scene. We'll talk to the special effects guys who figured out how to make that happen.
I personally thought it was kind of creepy.
It's like those commercials we see with Fred Astaire and Jackie Gleason.
I know, but I mean, she just passed away so recently. I'd be interested in knowing if they talked to her about it or her family.
The producers aren't here, but that would be a question for them. I'll see if they know the answer to that.
Anyway, also, Matt, now many patients feel as if doctors do not have enough sympathy or empathy, particularly when it comes to people who suffer from obesity. So one doctor came up with a unique solution to this problem. He created a special suit that actually puts on extra pounds. NBC's Kerry Sanders had the chance to try it out for a day. We'll tell you what he discovered when he put it on.
All right, before we get to that, Ann Curry has the rest of the morning's headlines at the news desk. Ann?
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Good morning, everybody. The Northeast is bracing for a powerful winter storm this morning that could dump more than 2 feet of snow on parts of New England. Snow has already begun falling in western Pennsylvania. New Jersey is under a state of emergency, and airlines have canceled hundreds of flights at New York's 3 major airports. California is also having its share of bad weather today. 2 storms collided in the Pacific over the weekend, bringing heavy rains and high winds to the region. Los Angeles is under a flood watch and could get at least 3 more inches of rain today. The U.S. Navy convenes a rare court of inquiry today into whether negligence played a role in last month's submarine collision with a Japanese fishing trawler. Some relatives of the 9 who were killed attended a memorial service Sunday. Many will attend the hearing today. Passengers aboard a Southwest Airlines flight had a bumpy landing in Phoenix last night when the plane skidded off the runway. Officials say the pilot misjudged the length of the runway, which had been recently shortened to accommodate a construction project, but no one was hurt. You're up to date at 7:32. It is now time for the weather and Al.
Today's weather is brought to you by Vicks, your forecast for relief.
And good morning. We've got a birthday girl out here. What's your name? What's your name?
Jennifer.
All right, Jennifer, happy birthday. And out west, as Ann just mentioned, it has been very rough. It's going to continue that way again today with strong winds, heavy rain. Take a look. Here's what we've got for you. We are expecting to see, again, coastal flood warnings for San Luis Obispo County, gale warnings, flood warnings, 2 to 4 inches of rain around the Los Angeles area today. As you move to the north, about a ½ inch of rain. But again, they are going to get a lot of rain in the southern and central California today. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Monday. And down in the Willamette Valley, our Northwest Sky Cam, looking at the Oregon State Capitol, showing cloudy skies, a few breaks, though, in the overcast. You can see a little bit of sunlight there on the Capitol Dome. We do have clouds and moisture, but they're off to the south of us into parts of California. Very heavy rain down there. Here in the Northwest, our morning clouds will give way to partly cloudy skies today. Forecast calls for that. Winds will be out of the east, and our daytime high today should reach 58. Tonight's low, 39 degrees.
That's your latest weather. Now back inside the key.
Thank you very much, Al. Did you ever feel as if your doctor didn't understand what you're going through? Well, an obesity specialist in Boston thinks most of his colleagues can't properly treat their overweight patients because they don't know what it's like to be fat. So as NBC's Kerry Sanders tells us, he found a way to show them.
George Blackburn rolls out of bed and onto his treadmill each morning.
I do 30 minutes a day.
He snaps on a pedometer to clock every step he takes.
My goal is 10,000 steps per day. Okay, how's our lovely couple doing?
While he's on the phone, knee bends burn 3 times more calories than just sitting. He even passed up the reserved parking spot next to his clinic's front door. He prefers a longer walk. As Associate Director of Harvard Medical School's Division of Nutrition, Dr. Blackburn practices what he preaches, devoting his life to shrinking our supersized waistlines.
America has lost it. America's overeating and under-exercising compared to almost any other country in the world.
Obesity is blamed for more than 300,000 deaths each year. Still, Blackburn says most doctors ignore it.
When it comes to obesity, there's no training and no understanding that this is a special situation.
How you doing? Good.
Once 25 pounds heavier, Blackburn has struggled with his own weight problem.
I've had the habits, I've had the weight gain that I've had to take off. So I know what I'm asking people to do because I've had to do it myself.
But Dr. Blackburn says most of his colleagues have never understood what it means to be fat until now.
Just trouble getting my balance.
It's called an empathy suit, an outfit designed to make you look 10 sizes larger and feel like you've gained 50 pounds.
I'm getting pretty tired already.
So far, 8 obesity centers across the country have incorporated the empathy suit into their medical training.
I want, doctors to be more sensitive to the pain and agony of obesity. And I want them to communicate that to their patients so that they can have better treatment.
Okay, so you're going to put me in the suit.
I am. So we're going to get that all the way up so your foot's through.
On my visit to his clinic, it only took a few minutes for Dr. Blackburn to transform my 158-pound frame into a lumpy and awkward 208 pounds.
Certainly a lot harder to bend over.
Just getting dressed, now a challenge.
I can't tie my shoe right now.
So then...
Well, hang on a second. I'm going to do it. I'm sure I can do this. It's just, it's not quite the 2-second thing that it normally is.
I also learned how alienated someone this size could feel during a routine doctor's visit.
You have no clothes on. Your entire backside is exposed.
Statistically, more than half of all patients visiting a doctor's office are overweight.
And what are you showing me here?
The point is that you're bigger than this table, and this is already going to put you on the defensive.
Most offices are uncomfortable for someone my size. I decided to test the empathy suit on the streets of New York City to see with hidden cameras how my larger frame would fit in, literally.
Clearly not comfortable at all. I'm taking up about 1.5 feet on both sides.
Wherever I went, I had a new problem, taking up more space. Maybe I was paranoid, but when I chose to sit down, my fellow commuters seemed annoyed.
See it, isn't it? Yes. It's also my shoulder. What do you think? Do you think it's rude to squish in like this?
Some people stood up immediately, even if it wasn't their stop. Others just changed seats. I'd grown huge, but I felt invisible.
This is my largest. That's your largest belt? Yeah. And it doesn't fit? Yeah.
I couldn't even trade in the suspenders for a more fashionable belt.
So, is that a selection of one belt?
Good. We sold out. After a day of dragging the weight and enduring the reactions that go along with being this big, had I been inspired to exercise, I would not have known where to begin.
This suit really slows you down.
Running stairs, not a healthy option for someone my size. The doctor says too much stress on the heart.
I'm losing my breath.
They say you never forget how to ride a bike, but after a huge weight gain...
The doctor says, get on the bike, go for a ride, you'll lose some weight. I'd be concerned about the balance.
After one day, I'd walked more than a mile as a very large man, and I'd learned I did not like it.
You can stop for a minute.
For some doctors, it only takes a few hours.
This is only an extra 50 pounds, but after wearing the suit for 20 minutes, I could definitely feel that it's more of an effort to even take a breath.
For Dr. Blackburn, the translation is simple. Doctors should not order patients to just join a gym, but guide them step by step through a lifestyle change.
I've been exercising since a year ago last August.
It starts with the very first visit, when he takes his patients for a brisk walk.
We could burn 75 calories more, eat 75 calories less, and we could reset our body weight 15 pounds.
It's worked for Blackburn, who at 60 years old and a thinner 185 pounds now has enough energy to beat his grandkids in a snowball fight.
And Kerry Sanders is here to tell us what a day in the suit was like. He seems like a really nice man, Dr. Blackburn.
And he's very dedicated.
You know, Kerry, we were talking during the tape, and the suit doesn't actually add 50 pounds. It just gives you the sensation that you're 50 pounds heavier. At the same time, though, the added material and the weight was pretty exhausting for you, as we saw, to just run upstairs and to move
It made
around.
for a very long day. I mean, the suit itself only weighs 25 pounds, but it's really designed to make you feel as if you've gained 50 pounds. So where you move your arms, how you move your legs, you're burning a lot more energy, and it tires you a lot quicker.
You know, we saw some New Yorkers kind of dissing you or avoiding you or giving you dirty looks. That very charming guy talking about his shoulder, I wanted to. But, I mean, do you think that was just the fact that they're New Yorkers? I love New Yorkers, but some people think that they're, you know.
I don't think so, because I come to New York, I know New York, and while people here can be perhaps a little brisk and a little, into their own, got to get here, got to get there, when you step into somebody's personal zone, even in New York, they look at you.
Yeah.
And here the funny thing was, every time I stepped into somebody's personal zone, they didn't look me at the face or in the eyes. They all seemed to look down and just sort of like, and then back, sort of. I was reading it as some sort of like sense of disgust or anger or just, get away from me.
Yeah. Meanwhile, have you changed your attitudes towards heavy people as a result?
I'm certainly paying attention to things that I never thought to. I mean, Dr. Blackburn said, incorporate 10,000 steps a day into your life. And I'm thinking, well, I wonder whether I do that. I mean, it's very hard. So I got one of the pedometers.
Right.
And I've been wearing it now for about a week. And in my routine day, I'm only walking about 9,100 steps a day. So I'm going to have to, pick it up a little bit, because I never even bothered to think how many times I take a step a day. I mean, what's the total count?
But what about your attitude? Are you disgusted with people as much, or do
Well,
you feel a little more sympathy and empathy?
I will say, yeah, I'm more, the empathy suit works, and I can see how it works for doctors. I mean, that's the whole point here, for the doctors to relate to their patients, as opposed to just saying, okay, go out and exercise and eat less and, get out of my office. In part because, as the doctor notes, you have the people coming into his office, about 50% of his patient list are overweight, but they represent 6 times more visits than the average patient. So those are the people you need to, if they're doctors, need to focus on and try and help them. Yeah, I'd say I'm more sympathetic. It didn't cross my mind beforehand, and it certainly does now.
All right, Kerry Sanders. Kerry, thanks a lot. It is 7:42, and coming up next on Today, how did they bring Livia Soprano back to life last night? We'll go behind the scenes of the hit show. And a bit later, actor Ed Burns will be here to talk about his new movie, which is called 15 Minutes. But first, these messages.
Grapevine. Cold symptoms keeping you awake? Get NyQuil. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever, so you can get the sleep you need to feel better medicine.
Don't we feel good?
No, we don't.
I had some gas. I was kind of ashamed of it. I didn't want to go out at all.
For serious gas, there's new Phazyme Ultra with more gas medicine than ever before.
Works just like that. Thank you, Phazyme.
Try new Phazyme Ultra.
There's a revolution going on inside your computer. It's called Quick Click from NBCI.com. See a word, click it, and you're instantly linked to more information about that word. Quick Click works on any word, anywhere on your computer, even email.
Any word?
Any word, click it, get information. Any word, click it, get information. Are you with me? Quick Click, you can't get it from Yahoo, only from NBCI.com.
To grow big and strong, kids need all the calcium they can get. And Kix has the most calcium of any leading kid cereal, as much as the milk you pour on it.
How did you get so big? It's the Kix.
Kix, kid tested, mother approved.
Pepperidge Farm Sausalito cookies. Mounds of chocolate and macadamia nuts. Hey, if you're gonna have a cookie, have a cookie. Pepperidge Farm. Never have an ordinary day.
The perfect vehicle for whatever circle you travel in. Even if it's the Arctic Circle.
Hur var trafiken?
Det vanliga.
The all-wheel drive Volvo Cross Country.
When actress Nancy Marchand passed away last year, fans of HBO's smash hit The Sopranos wonder how producers would deal with the absence of her character, Livia, Tony Soprano's manipulative mom. Well, they got their answer last night during the show's season premiere when Livia made her final appearance.
What did you tell them when you were in the lockup?
Whoa, what did I do?
This is important. They're trying to build a RICO case against me. And what are you going to say? They put you on a witness stand. Because the only reason they let you go is to get your cooperation.
So how did they bring Livia back to life for one more show? Michael Miller and Rick Wagenheim of Rhinoceros Visual Effects and Design helped to create that little bit of television magic. Michael and Rick, good morning. Nice
Good morning.
to see you.
Good morning, Matt.
So how does this happen? The folks at Sopranos come to you and say, look, we have a big problem here, and you have to help us out. How does it start? How did you help them?
Yes, well, the visual effects supervisor from last night's second episode, Chris Schollard, approached us with a 4 to 4.5 minute scene in which James Gandolfini was performing his lines with a body double. There were 18 shots of Nancy Marchand from previous episodes. Our job was then to integrate Nancy Marchand's performance with the body double.
You're talking about 18 shots from previous episodes. These 18 shots were not taken at the same time?
No.
So these were various sets, various scenes, various hair, various
Absolutely.
makeup, various lighting. And now, how did you do this in terms of to create that look and make it look realistic with that body?
And layer by layer, you go into each head and make sure you rotoscope out all the pieces around the head to isolate it. Take that head and her performance and put it on a body double that was taped with Tony, back and forth until we felt that the details and the lighting and the shadowing was as close as we could possibly get.
How technically can you make the details the same? I mean, how can you make her makeup look the same in one shot as it does in the shot beforehand?
Obviously, it's very time-consuming. Every shot that you saw had approximately 15 to 20 different layers. Perhaps the most obvious example that we saw, with the lighting not matching, her hair not matching, even the camera angles and lensing perspective not matching. We got shots where you would see Nancy Marchand's hands in front of her face, yet you would also see the body double's hands. So what we had to do was digitally erase Nancy Marchand's hands and then basically paint her face back in.
Now people who watch the show obviously know that this talented actress passed away over the summer. For the people who weren't aware of that, if they hadn't heard any of the talk leading up to this episode, do you think this would have fooled them?
Absolutely. I don't think anybody would have known. I think it's invisible. I think the biggest challenge was that we were doing this in the equivalent of broad daylight because the scene was shot in the afternoon. So we didn't have darkness, we didn't have shadows to obscure anything, but I think that the average viewer out there who is not familiar with visual effects and how they're done, if they had looked at it, they would not have known.
Katie and I were talking earlier, and we were saying, you know, we hope that Nancy Marchand's family gave their permission or their blessing for something like this, because technology really has gotten to the point now where you don't need an actor or actress to tell you yes or no. You can create almost anything you want to create. Is that an ethical concern for you?
Not on our part, because we're given something to do, you know, something that was asked of us. It has all the possibilities of resurrecting her character, and I think it's a tribute to her, in fact, that her character lived on, you know, for that, to bring closure to it in the story.
Controversy in other instances where in commercials we brought back Fred Astaire and Jackie Gleason and people like that to pitch products. Now, obviously, we don't know whether they would have wanted to pitch those products. There, I guess you would imagine there is an ethical concern.
Well, that's really between the families, their estates, and the lawyers involved with that.
4.5-minute scene, you said, right? How much did, because of the technology and your work involved in this, how much did that one 4.5-minute scene cost the producers of The Sopranos?
I don't know that I'm at liberty to discuss.
Can I give you a number and you'll tell me if I'm in the ballpark?
Let's avoid that one. Let's just say
well,
it was 3 weeks of work.
$250,000 about ballpark?
Approximately.
For one 4.5-minute scene?
Approximately.
How much further can the technology take us in this area?
Oh, God, we can go way beyond that. I have a feeling It all depends on what you want to do and how much time you're allotted to do it. That has a big, influence on how far you want to take something.
Michael Miller, Rick Wagenheim. Guys, thanks very much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Matt.
50 past the hour. We're back with much more on a Monday morning right after these messages.
I have asthma. I also have a family. And carpool. And play dates. And 24 kids. Look, I might have asthma, but I also have a life.
Singulair helps you control your asthma. Singulair is different from many daily inhaled controllers. It's not a steroid, and it's a once-a-day tablet that can help control asthma for a full 24 hours. It also comes in a cherry chewable tablet for children 2 years and older. Singulair should not be used to treat acute asthma attacks. Continue taking your other asthma medicines unless your doctor tells you to stop or change the dose. If symptoms get worse, contact your doctor at once. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, flu, runny nose, and ear infection. For more information about Singulair, ask your doctor and ask about adding once-a-day Singulair. Singulair, asthma control that can help you breathe easier.
There's something about home runs. The crack of the bat, watching the ball soar. But sometimes there's something even better. Strategy.
Poor Daddy. He's totally outnumbered.
Introducing Women's Tylenol Menstrual Relief, specially formulated for more complete relief of a woman's menstrual symptoms.
Maybe he needs a dog.
New Women's Tylenol Menstrual Relief.
Pick it up, flip it up, stir it up, drink it up, Coffee Mate. Love it up. Pick it up, pour it out, stir it up. How about Coffee Mate? Love it up. Coffee Mate. Got the new face. Coffee Mate. Got a rich taste. Coffee Mate. In your favorite cup. Coffee Mate. Love it up. Coffee Mate. Got a new face. Coffee Mate. Got a rich taste. Coffee Mate. In your favorite cup. Coffee Mate. Love it up.
Coffee Mate from Nestle.
I just want my cold sore to go away.
Sooner.
I'm tired of medicines that just make it feel better.
Can't anybody just make it go away?
Introducing Abreva, the non-prescription cold sore medicine that shortens healing time. New Abreva starts to work right at the tingle, so you start to heal it as soon as you feel it.
It really works?
Only Abreva has Decosanol and is the only non-prescription medicine approved by the FDA to shorten healing time.
I can do something real about a cold sore.
New Abreva. Start to heal it as soon as you feel it.
I like that. Al and I have decided we're going to sleep in. You can just digitize us for the first hour. What do you
do
think?
the first 3 days of the week. We'll take off the last part of the week.
Sounds good to me. Meanwhile, we want to remind you quickly, vote for your favorite bathroom as part of our Today Build the House series. The choices are right there. The Sanibel, the Classico, the Villa Rosa, and the Cozumel. Details can be found at our website at today.msnbc.com.
We're going to auction off the house at the end of our series. All the money goes to Habitat for Humanity. We're back after your local news.
Look, she's doing it again. I can't believe it. Sophia! Eh? Who are you talking to? Billy. I will call. Billy? But he's in America. I know.
Emma, who is that?
My friend. She's crazy. She's crazy.
With MSN Messenger service, you can send messages and even talk to your online buddies right from your homepage.
She's doing it again.
Who else but crazy men would film their crimes?
Two visitors are about to bring America.
I want to know who these guys are, and I want to know now.
To its knees.
They had a video camera, and I just wanted them to get out of here.
In prime time. Now,
If it bleeds, it leads.
two of New York's finest
It's going down! Go!
must stop the madness.
Rule of the hunt.
Robert De Niro, Edward Burns.
You want headlines? You want to be a celebrity? Shoot me!
15 minutes. Rated R. Starts Friday.
If it ain't eggs, it ain't breakfast. I love eggs.
If it ain't eggs, it ain't breakfast. I love eggs.
Up to 10% of your calories should come from protein, and eggs are a good, inexpensive source of high-quality protein.
It ain't eggs.
Ooh, it ain't breakfast.
I love those eggs.
The incredible edible egg.
I love eggs.
Here's a tip. American Express has this membership rewards program. Sign up and you get points when you pay with a small business card. You've got 100 points here, you've got, say, 300 points here. That'll be 4,000 points on this week's deliveries alone. You've got lots of ways to pay, but this card can take you to Hawaii, so why pay any other way?
Small business owners have earned billions of points to spend on travel, equipment, and more. To sign up for membership rewards, visit us at AmericanExpress.com.
What if a daily supplement was clinically shown to work on both sides of PMS, physical and emotional? It's true. I did the research. I suspected that calcium affected hormone balance. We used one specific calcium.
New Calcium for Life, PMS, from Tums. So unique, it's patented.
The results? A significant decrease in physical and emotional symptoms. Has a dramatic effect on women. Changes their lives.
Tums Calcium for Life, PMS.
Your donation is important to us. It's tax deductible and it's easy to do. Donating your car not only helps us, but Uncle Sam likes to make sure it helps you. He wants to encourage you. You could actually get a tax deduction for it. So when you give a gift to us, you get a deduction of its fair market value. So you're actually saving money. Give me your car, your boat, your plane, because I'll change lives. It's easy to donate your vehicle and help me change people's lives. Just call 1-888-FATHER-JOE.
How can some people take it off and keep it off? Even indulge a little from time to time? How can they stare at three-way mirrors straight in the eye? Just ask one of our members. Get 50% off dues and 25% off enrollment fee. Call 1-800-204-2400 for the club nearest you. It's the way we make you feel.
News Channel 8 can also be seen on these local translators. This is a News Channel 8 update.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Russ Lewis. It is 7:57 now and 48 degrees outside in downtown Portland. Here's what's making news on this Monday morning. Hillsborough police need your help catching someone who was making homemade bombs and then blowing them up near homes. Two of the devices turned up in this Northeast Hillsborough neighborhood on Saturday. Plastic bottles with some sort of explosive powder inside. Police don't have much to go on. Witnesses saw a dark minivan with one or two young men inside. A Beaverton man is behind bars charged with attempted murder this morning. Washington County investigators arrested 26-year-old Guy Angel Saturday. He's accused of stabbing two men in his Beaverton apartment during an argument. Angel is held this morning without bail. Time now for a check on the traffic with Bill Diaz. Bill, good morning.
Well, good morning, Russ. Thank you. It's pretty heavy now inbound of the Banfield, with slowing from Gateway most of the way down to the I-5 merge. Also, we've got some very heavy traffic. Sunset Highway inbound starting back at 185th up to the top of the Sylvan Hill, where it's very sunny this morning. And I-5 northbound, we've had a crash near Capitol Highway. They cleared it off to the side, but we still have very heavy traffic from Tigard to the Twilliger curves. Live from the ODOT Traffic Command Center, I'm Bill Diaz. Now with the forecast, here's Dave Selesky.
Bill, as always, thanks very much. We do have some clouds out there this morning, folks, but plenty of breaks also opening up in the overcast. And as the day goes along, higher pressure will build in across the entire northwest, and that means more sunshine and fewer clouds. Currently outside in Portland, partly cloudy skies. A nice morning out there. 48 degrees already, and the wind is calm. Our forecast, clouds this morning, but then partly cloudy this afternoon. East winds, and our high, 58 degrees. Now, Russ, back to you.
Dave, thanks very much. That's all for now. I'm Russ Lewis. We'll see you soon here on Northwest News Channel 8. Have a great Monday.
There are hundreds of thousands of websites on the internet, but only one reason why we visit any of them: to be informed. And when it comes to our health, we want information that's easy to locate and easy to understand. That's just what you'll find at clinicaltrials.com. Details about current clinical trials in your area, answers to questions about illnesses and new prescription medications, and where to find community resources and local support groups. The internet is a powerful tool. Now use it to protect the most important resource of all, your health. clinicaltrials.com. Be informed.
We'll help you through. You'll love the new you. You're healthy and it's fun. Healthy and it's exercise equipment, Northwest. You'll feel great when you're done. Exercise equipment, Northwest. It's when you're fit. Everyone can tell. Exercise equipment, Northwest. Where every day gets better. Here for you.
We're back at 8 o'clock on this Monday morning, the 5th day of March, the year 2001, and you're looking at all the folks who have stopped by our window on the world this morning, bracing for the upcoming Storm Watch 01.
That's
Storm
right.
of the century, at least this week. And actually, we shouldn't be making so much fun of it because it could be very serious. It's just we've kind of been waiting. I kept looking outside yesterday, outside my window, thinking, where is it?
Come on already. But it's been delayed a little bit. The storm slowed up a little bit off the Delmarva Peninsula, but we're making its way up the coast, and we expect in the next 4 or 5 hours things to start cranking up here. And to the north, it's going to be even worse.
Really?
Folks in Boston have blizzard warnings in effect.
And they shouldn't get overconfident, people, and look out the window now and say, okay, let's go travel, jump in the car, and drive for hours. They could get caught in big trouble.
And what is two storm systems? I'm going to hurry in 2 seconds, but two storm systems coming together, that's what makes it so bad?
Well, and now we've got one big storm system off the coast, cold air coming down, moist air coming in off the Atlantic, so it'll be interesting. And then the West Coast is getting pounded pretty good, too. So.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
Busy time for you. Meanwhile, I'm Katie Couric, by the way, with Matt Lauer and Al Roker. And coming up, you have a very touching story.
Yeah, it's a story of a young woman undergoing treatment for brain cancer for the 3rd time who collected all her pain and fears and turned them into a song that a country music star thought was good enough to record. We're going to have that story in just a few minutes.
Also coming up, actor Ed Burns will be here to talk about his new movie. It's called 15 Minutes. He co-stars with Robert De Niro. And a bit later, Dr. Judith Reitman will help us sort through conflicting health information on things like birth control pills and pap smears, and she'll answer some of your emails as well. Apparently, she's picked all sorts of subjects that people are confused about. It turns out they're confused about a lot. But first, Ann Curry is back with the morning's top news stories. Ann, good morning again.
Good morning again to you, Katie Matnell. Good morning once again, everybody. East Coast residents are hunkering down this morning, bracing for the full fury of a predicted big winter storm. NBC's Robert Hager is at New York City Central Park this morning. Hey, Bob, how does it look so far? So far, so good?
Well, what we've got here right now, Ann, is a very light mixture of freezing rain and snow, enough to leave a light accumulation, 1 to 4 inches, create these postcard scenes behind me here in Central Park, but cause a lot of accidents, too. And what's really been a kind of a light commute into New York City this morning, also enough to cancel schools all over the Northeast and a lot of businesses as well. It all started Sunday afternoon. Snow first begins before nightfall Sunday, and then on into the night. Light, wet snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Emergency operations centers gear up from the Middle Atlantic north to Maine. In Boston, because of the forecast, shoppers crowd stores in anticipation. In the New York area as well, shelves picked clean of necessities. And at airports, information boards filled with cancellations, hundreds and hundreds of flights, upsetting passengers.
Trying to beat the storm, trying to get out of here.
But so far, the front side of the storm hasn't been bad. Now the wait to see whether the backside is worse, see whether it's as fierce as the forecast. Connecticut has banned tractor trailers from all state highways. New Jersey has declared a state of emergency, and the cancellations at airports are described by the Port Authority, which runs New York's airports, as massive here in New York at the 3 airports, LaGuardia, Newark, and John F. Kennedy. We may have a long way to go for this storm.
NBC's Bob Hager. Bob, thank you for that report. Well, further up the coast, New England is also expected to be walloped by this nor'easter, possibly with up to 3 feet of snow. NBC's Rahema Ellis is in Revere, Massachusetts, outside Boston this morning. Boy, Rahema, looks pretty bad already out there.
Indeed, it is, Ann. We've got a nasty mixture of wind, snow, and sleet. But forecasters say the worst is yet to come. While there's just a dusting of snow right here, right now, they say this afternoon for evening rush hour and afternoon rush hour, there could be anywhere from 4 to 5 feet of snow on the ground, and it could get treacherous because they expect it to snow all during the night and into tomorrow. They're looking at what they say could be a monster storm, comparable to what we had during the blizzard of '78. Back then, 27 inches. They're talking about measuring it now, as you just pointed out, in feet, anywhere from 3, possibly 4 feet inland. Across the coastal areas, they're really concerned. You can see the white caps. They're concerned about the possibility of coastal flooding and beach erosion. And everybody is keeping an eye on this. Most people are being urged to stay home if they can. And
add to that the problem from the wind that we're seeing actually booing you around now. What are residents doing to prepare for this, Rahema?
Well, they're battening down the hatches, as you can imagine. And the other thing, as Bob mentioned in his piece, they're doing here as well, and that is people ran into the supermarkets yesterday as well as to the hardware stores getting those flashlights and batteries. In the event that these high winds knock down power lines, people want to be ready for that. And in anticipation of the snowstorm, they have canceled schools in many of the areas, and the governor declared a snow emergency. They're asking everyone to stay off the roads if they possibly can and to ride out this storm at home.
Okay, well, you get inside now, Rahema Ellis. Thank you so much for your report this morning. In other news this morning, the Navy opens a rare court of inquiry today to find out why a U.S. submarine rammed into a Japanese fishing boat filled with high school students. The sub's commander says he is willing to testify in the courtroom hearing as long as he gets immunity. He and his top officers could get court-martialed. Some of the families of the 9 still missing scattered flowers at the accident site on Sunday. Searchers will try again today to recover the remains of 21 people killed in a military plane crash on Saturday. The twin-engine transport carrying the National Guard members went down in a farmer's field in Georgia. Investigators say bad weather may have played a part in that crash. More than 60 people are presumed dead after a bridge collapsed in Portugal last night. The bus they were riding in plunged 165 feet into a fast-moving river swollen by heavy rains. 2 cars also fell into the water. Accused FBI spy Robert Hansen heads to a court this afternoon. Government prosecutors will ask a federal judge to keep him behind bars, arguing there is a risk that he would flee to Russia. Hansen is accused of passing secrets to the Russians for 15 years. And finally now, the Mexican took over the top spot at the weekend box office. The Julia Roberts and Brad Pitt film took in $20.3 million over the weekend, according to early industry estimates. C-Spot Run was second, and after 3 weeks as number 1, Hannibal was third. It is now 8:06 and time for today's weather now.
Today's weather is brought to you by Kellogg's. Tomorrow morning, help yourself with Kellogg's.
And a Girl Scout troop braving all this weather. Troop 858? Where's that from?
From Allen, Texas, just north of Dallas.
Well, thank you for coming down. Your cookies are getting soggy, but thank you for... Well, thank you. We're going to collect those in a minute, okay? But first, let's get to the weather and show you what's going on here in the Northeast. You can see it's a nor'easter coming up the coast. You can see the area of pink. That's the frozen mixed precipitation. Snow to the north of that, and that's going to be heading this way. Here's what we expect as far as amounts. Boston by tomorrow, 36 inches or more. 36 in Albany, up to 2 feet in Binghamton. Here in New York City, a foot or more possible. So we're keeping an eye on this. Plus, we've got a coastal storm warnings up, flood, beach erosion, major flooding, storm surges 2 to 5 feet above normal, with wind gusts at hurricane strength, 75 miles per hour. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Monday morning up in the Oregon Cascades. Nice morning up there. We do have partly to mostly cloudy skies over the Cascades at this time. The snow level right up around the 6,000-foot elevation. Clouds and some moisture today streaming up out of the south. You may see some high elevation snow flurries this morning, but by midday, as some higher pressure begins to build in, clouds across much of the state will begin to dry out, and we're going to see morning clouds, maybe a few sprinkles, then partly cloudy skies. The high today, 58.
Up in the next half hour, we'll turn a weather eye to the West Coast, where they're expecting some rough weather today as well, Katie.
Okay, Al, thanks very much. Up next, we'll meet a very special young songwriter. But first, these messages.
Women want you to believe they have to suffer to stay in shape. But what about Kellogg's Special K? Does that look like suffering to you? Delicious, lightly toasted flakes and only 110 calories? Doesn't sound so bad to me. Maybe it's time for me to do the Special K thing.
Kellogg's Special K. Looking good never tasted so great.
We got to target a new online customer. Consumers who never change their minds and choose gifts with 100% accuracy.
So there's no returns.
Bingo. I call them laser beamers.
And exactly how many of these laser beamers have you found?
4. But that's just in the U.S.
E-returns are inevitable. Now UPS has automated the process, making it quicker and easier, so we can help change merchandise as fast as people change their minds. UPS, moving at the speed of business.
It's a law of physics. The only man on the plane with a cold
will sit next to you. Thank goodness for Kleenex tissues. Kleenex Cold Care has 3 germ-blocking layers to help keep germs where they belong.
Dannon Light is different. It's now Dannon Light and Fit with calcium, protein, 0% fat, healthy active cultures, and more vitamins than before. We've taken our game to a whole new level. New improved Dannon Light and Fit. Light just got fitter.
Today, a makeup that actually transforms your skin. Neutrogena Healthy Skin Makeup. Beautiful coverage, plus a dermatologist-developed formula that improves skin clarity, texture, tone, evenness, and the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Beautiful and beneficial. Neutrogena.
What are you doing?
Laundry.
Laundry?
But I'm glad you're up. I've been waiting to vacuum. Breakfast. I'll pick up your tray when I get back from the market.
But it's Sunday. Aren't you going to lay around and watch football all day?
Not if I'm going to finish that roast in time for dinner.
Somebody had their Minute Maid this morning. It only takes a minute, but the feeling lasts all day.
Honey, what's the setting for chiffon?
Life is just a bowl of cherries.
Smucker's, the all-natural jams and preserves. Fresh fruit taste that's sure to make you smile.
So keep repeating it's the berries.
Smucker's, over 100 years of natural great taste. With a name like Smucker's, it has to be good.
Life is just a bowl of cherries. So live and laugh at it all.
There are lots of country songs that talk about pain and suffering. This next story is about one such song, but this one was written by a young woman who really does know those things in her own life, and she still manages to be an inspiration to others. NBC's Bob Faw explains.
What do you do when you're scared inside?
It's a simple song, Rescue Me, a prayer, really. Written by 17-year-old Katie Ann Darnell, stricken for a 3rd time with brain cancer.
All of your tears always follow.
Legally blind and hearing impaired, she wrote the song one afternoon in about 30 minutes.
It was like God was saying, here, take this. It just came, and it poured out on that paper like you was pouring a glass of water.
And in December, when she left her Princeton, Kentucky home and came to Nashville for chemo, country singer John Rich stopped by her hospital room to sing her a song. Instead,
I've got a song to sing you, my song.
Awesome. As Rich listened, he was overcome.
The lyrics kind of burrow down inside of you, the way they're put together, and the melody sticks in your head.
Lord, all I need is your love. Rescue me.
There's people up and down Music Row here in Nashville that get paid a lot of money that can't write songs that good.
2 days later, Rich went to his recording studio, and with technicians who donated their time, he recorded his version of Katie's song.
With Christ the blessed Lamb, we can get through anything, as long as it's you and me. I love thee, rescue me, shine your light, lead me home. Lord, all I need is your love.
And when Rich took that recording and played it for Katie, she too was overwhelmed.
Put it this way, I couldn't have asked for anything more. The way the violins, his voice with it, it was perfect.
Katie Ann Darnell was not the only one to react that way.
It's the Big 98.
When local disc jockey Jerry House played Rescue Me on the air.
So heartwarming when you hear it. Want to hear it? Sure do. Okay.
What do you do when you're scared inside?
After hearing it, listeners kept asking for more.
This girl who had, under such horrible circumstances, and had risen to that level of songwriting. It's really amazing.
All this has made Katie something of a celebrity at the hospital, where she visits and cheers up sick children, and where she recently met up again with John Rich.
What's going on, girl?
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
In the future, they'll be seeing more of each other.
She asked me the other day to take her to the prom. If I would be her date to the prom, I said, absolutely, I will be your date to the prom.
It's all enough to make a young girl's head spin.
It makes her feel good about herself. There's no question about that.
But it really hasn't changed who Katie Darnell is or how she deals with her cancer.
I can actually say I'm thankful for this illness because of the way it changed me. I'm a better person than what I ever was.
You're going to beat this thing?
Beat this thing. I tell people from the start I'd whoop it. I'd whooped it twice. I'd whoop it again.
A will to live and a song to live by. For today, Bob Faw, NBC News, Nashville.
And our thoughts are with her. Coming up at 15 past the hour, up next, Ed Burns on his new movie, 15 Minutes. Right after this.
You choose to be healthy. You choose to be successful. You choose to give back. You choose to be yourself. The choices you want, the voice you need to make the most out of life. Today's AARP.
How different can best friends be? Take our weddings. Julia, totally traditional. Me, totally untraditional. And Holly, Las Vegas. But yesterday we discovered that we'd all made the same decision about one thing. I'm taking the pill. Orthotricycline.
Me too. And you know, when you take it correctly, it's over 99% effective.
So there's no worry about getting pregnant until you want to. And just look at my skin. Orthotricycline? Mm-hmm. My doctor told me it's the only one with clinical proof that it helps clear up moderate acne.
Yeah, my skin is definitely clearer.
The pill does not protect against HIV or sexually transmitted diseases. Serious risks include blood clot, stroke, and heart attack. Cigarette smoking increases these risks, especially if you're a smoker over 35. Women who use the pill are urged not to smoke. Women who have blood clots, certain cancers, a history of heart attack or stroke, and those who could be pregnant should not use the pill. For more information, talk to your healthcare provider.
If you're going to take the pill, why not take the only one with clinical proof? It helps your skin look better. Orthotricycline.
Are we ever going to eat?
Behind me is the bakery where we make all of the yummy messes. At the end of the day, it is an absolute disaster back here. We are in a cloud of powdered sugar. Ugh, ugh. I've seen some terrific messes, and I've always been able to clean them up with stuff from Walmart. I can just grab an item, and I know I'm getting a good price. Once we're at Walmart getting stuff for work, we might as well shop for home as well. We're on a tight budget, so we trust Walmart to keep our business running. We've got messes to make and cakes to bake. You've got to love a place like Walmart.
Why is it that at Howard Johnson you can always count on a data port for fast internet access? Great Supermiles rewards, like free airline tickets. A coffee maker to keep you working away. And a pool to keep everyone smiling. Why? Because at Howard Johnson, it comes right out of the book. The Howard Johnson Book of Quality Standards, which is our way of assuring you a better quality of life on the road. Call 1-800-I-GO-HOJO or visit hojo.com.
Discover the newest anti-wrinkle treatment from Rock, the developers of retinol in France. Rock improved its retinol formula by adding alpha-hydroxy acid, creating a revolutionary dual-action formula. First, AHA exfoliates. Then, retinol, a pure form of vitamin A, works deep in skin surface. Clinically proven to visibly reduce the appearance of wrinkles in just 8 weeks. Improved retinol active pure. Rock, we keep our promises.
Edward Burns first captured audience attention in romantic comedies like The Brothers McMullen and She's the One. Now in the new crime thriller, 15 Minutes, he's picking up the pace a bit, playing an arson investigator hot on the heels of 2 brutal killers in New York City.
Flammable.
Thank you. What's that?
Evidence of a homicide. You fellas know what that is, right?
No, what is it?
Camillo, punch a hole in the corner. I want to look at the floor.
You got it. What's he looking for? He's looking for a timer.
Here you go. Big double homicide.
Ed Burns, good morning. Nice to see you, Ed. Would you say, I'm fine, thank you. Would you say the overwhelming reason you decided you wanted to be a part of this movie was a guy named Robert De Niro?
I would say yeah.
Yeah.
I think any young actor would say that a chance to work with him is sort of, that's one of the dreams come true.
But you also wanted a good script as well. And you felt that this was that is in addition to, having Robert De Niro
I was a fan
in it?
of John Hirschfeld, the director's first two films. And this also shoots in New York, where I live, or shot in New York. And also, you know, it's an action thriller, and unlike most films in that genre, it actually has something to say, and it has a story that makes sense. So,
And it has, we were just talking during the commercial, it has a bit of a sardonic edge. You know, it's a very intense, very violent, by the way, movie. I want to ask you about that in a moment. But it has sort of a slightly comedic quality as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's something of a black comedy and a satire, and it attacks the media and sort of America's obsession with fame right now. And you know, why do, you know, I asked that question, you know, will everyone get their 15 minutes? I think it's more like, why does everybody seem to want to get their 15 minutes of fame?
And tell us a little bit more about these brutal killers. I mean, they are just absolutely awful, awful people. And they're from a different country, from Russia and Czechoslovakia, right?
Yeah.
They come to this country and tell me what happens from there.
Yeah, they come claiming that they're seeking political asylum, but basically, once they're here, they track down an old partner of theirs who's taken their money. They kill this guy and his wife and then torch the bodies. And that's sort of how De Niro and I hook up. I play an arson investigator. He plays a homicide detective, and sort of we team up to track these guys down.
But an interesting twist, they capture everything they do because one of them's obsessed with Frank Capra and It's a Wonderful Life. So they videotape everything they do, which adds another kind of really creepy element to their crimes, right?
Yeah, and then they use that videotape to try and sort of, their claim is, well, who else but a crazy person would videotape these murders? So their thinking is when they get caught, they'll claim that they're insane, and then afterwards they'll say they're not insane, and then with the double jeopardy rule, they'll, you know, somehow get away with it, and then get by the Son of Sam law and make money off their crimes.
Meanwhile, a lot of this movie revolves around the relationship your character, Jody Warsaw, has with Robert De Niro, the homicide detective, who's kind of an old, crusty, very colorful guy. Yeah. And we've got a clip from the movie that shows you two interacting. Let's take a look, and then we'll talk some more.
I'll go inside, you cover the exit. Of course. Hey, I always wanted to be a cop, you know, when I was a kid. I dreamt about pulling out my gun, running up to the door, kicking it in, yelling, freezing the bad guy. What did you dream about?
You know, running up to a burning building, kicking down the door, rushing through the smoke, and saving a kid.
Well, then, I guess we're doing it the right way, huh? We pulled up to a burning building. I gladly let you go first.
So how was it? I mean, you've always had wanted to work with Robert De Niro. What was he like? Pretty regular guy, isn't he?
A very regular guy. You know, going into the first day of rehearsals, I had no idea what to expect. And you're nervous, just, you know, am I a good enough actor to go up against this guy? But within the first half hour, you forget that, you know, he's Robert De Niro, this American icon, and he's just Bob, this really nice guy.
Yeah, so. And you also, I know, did some research. You spent some time with actual arson investigators in New York City. Was that interesting for you?
Yeah, that was great. I mean, you know, there were things like just hanging out with the guys at the station house and doing that sort of thing. But we'd go to the shell of a burned out building with them. And it's pretty wild to see, you know, how quickly they can walk into one of these buildings and quickly determine the sort of point of origin of the fire. And they could look at a burn pattern on the floor and tell, was it started with gasoline or a paper trail? So
that must have been fascinating.
Yeah,
and you had to do a couple scenes, too, Ed, I know, where you actually had to have your... I mean, some pretty serious stuff done to you. You wanted a double to do it or a stunt guy, but the director thought it would be better if you were actually a part of the scene.
I'm not one of those actors that thinks it's sort of cool to do their own stunts. And getting your arm lit on fire and, you know, your face this close to the flames is just not fun.
That was pretty nerve-wracking. How many takes did you have to do?
We did, you know, 4 or 5 takes, which was,
you're like enough already.
4 or 5 too many for me.
Meanwhile, you've got a TV show coming out on NBC called The Fighting Fitzgerald. And you wanted to have a realistic portrayal of a middle-class Irish family, right?
Yeah. It's something my brother and I wrote, you know, so many times with sitcoms, they just, they just seem unrealistic, and it's like a bad setup and then a bad punchline. So we wanted to try and create something that felt real, like an All in the Family, but but also had conversational humor, and we were lucky enough that we got Brian Dennehy to star in it.
He's terrific, isn't he?
We actually went to the same high school.
Oh, you
on
did?
Long Island, yeah.
And you say if that's a hit, that means beachfront property.
Yeah, it would be a good thing if that worked.
You're not doing so poorly on the big screen either. Ed Burns, always great to see you, Ed.
Good to see you.
And the movie's called 15 Minutes. So thanks again.
Thank
It
you.
opens Friday, by the way, and The Fighting Fitzgeralds premieres tomorrow night at 8:30, 7:30 Central on NBC. Still to come this morning on Today, Dr. Judith Reichman. I'm having a hard time. Will be here to help us sort out conflicting health information. But first, these messages and your local news.
Your votes are helping Today build a house, and you just ate up the idea of this kitchen. Now it's time to design the bathroom. Log on from now until tomorrow at noon and cast your vote. Help Habitat for Humanity as Today builds a house.
Brenda, Carl, and Dave, weekday mornings at 5.
I can get,
More masking tape.
More concrete.
More plaster.
More of these.
I need more tools.
More lawn.
More of this? More of that? Maybe I could get 3 more feet.
I need a lot more tools. When I go to Home Depot, I can save money.
Nuts.
And I can get more stuff.
A lot more than I would have expected.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is why I go to Home Depot first.
The Home Depot, first in home improvement.
Taking care of Mom's a thankless job. She thinks we own stock in the electric company. She's so busy, she never has time to eat a good lunch.
Well, Betty Crocker's changed all that with these Bowl Appetites. Add water, microwave it, and in minutes, a lunch made just for you, like pasta Alfredo.
Delicious. And if she doesn't finish, I send her to her room.
Betty Crocker Bowl Appetit lunch bowls. What a great idea.
This is a News Channel 8 update.
Good morning. It is 8:26. Our temperature outside this morning, 49 degrees right now. I'm Carl Click along with Hank Stack. Here's local news for you. 3 Oregon men held hostage in the jungle of Ecuador are back home and enjoying time with their families. They told us their harrowing story this weekend. Held captive in South America almost 5 months. They finally returned to Oregon soil early Saturday morning. The town of Gold Hill was decked out in yellow ribbons in their honor. There will be a parade there this Saturday. Well, Rod Strickland isn't a Portland Trail Blazer, at least not yet, but he is in the Rose City. Strickland arrived late last night at Portland International Airport. He's not a free agent technically until later this afternoon. That's when he's expected to sign a contract with the Trailblazers. He talked with KGW's Ron Pivo about the rumors.
You know, winning is the key. I think anybody who's been in this league for a while, you want to win. And I'm just looking for a winning opportunity.
And does this place give you the best opportunity?
This place is a great opportunity to win.
So far, the Blazers have not scheduled a news conference, but if they do today, we will let you know. It's time for us to get our traffic check. Bill Diaz standing by.
Carl, thank you. That traffic's starting to thin out inbound of the Banfield. Still heavy at the west end from 28th down to the I-5 merge. Sunset Highway still hasn't recovered. Very slow traffic in both directions between Cornell Road and the top of the Sylvan Hill. Also, I-5 northbound, earlier wreck is cleared at Capitol Highway. Still a little heavy as you head through those Terwilliger curves in downtown Portland. Live from the ODOT Traffic Command Center, I'm Bill Diaz. Now with the forecast, here's Dave Selesky.
Thanks very much, Bill. And we do have plenty of clouds, but not so many here in the northwest. The storm track, it's down to the south of us into parts of California. We are seeing some mid and high-level clouds out of these systems rolling north into the Pacific Northwest, but not enough moisture in those clouds for any kind of shower activity. We have seen a few showers this morning. They have since come to an end, and it looks like drier weather ahead for today and much warmer weather ahead for the next few days. Quick look outside right now, folks. Our current condition under partly cloudy skies, it's 48 degrees. The wind is out of the southeast at about 2 miles an hour. Here's the forecast. Some morning clouds giving way to partly cloudy skies this afternoon. Our high today at 58. Tomorrow, 65. Now, back over to you, Carl and Hank.
Looks too good to be true, Dave. Thank you very much. That's it for local news. We'll keep you up to date. Another news update coming your way in about 25 minutes.
It was a sleepy town, full of sleepy people simply unaware of the wonders of international delight. But that's where I come in, with my inestimable colleagues and 10 irresistible flavors. That first sip, it's often overwhelming.
Richer, creamier, more delicious, sir? Yes, we know. And you're welcome.
So do we have a dream for the new millennium? We do. We want international delight in every cup in America.
While progress should never come to a halt, there are many places it should never come to at all. So we work locally with communities, businesses, and people like you to save precious places around the world, forever. I'm Paul Newman. Help the Nature Conservancy save the last great places.
Tonight, catch Jay with Catherine Zeta-Jones and Ryan Phillippe. Plus, audience members reveal strange talents. Then on Conan, Bob Costas and Lucy Lawless. NBC tonight.
8:30 now on this Monday morning, March 5th, 2001. Lots of umbrellas up in the plaza this morning with good reason. We've got rain and freezing rain, sleet and snow on the way as part of this big nor'easter that Al's been talking about for the past day or so, heading up the coast and should deliver some major amounts of snowfall to places like New York City and Connecticut and Boston, Massachusetts by the time it's out of here sometime tomorrow afternoon. Up to 2 feet of snow in places like Boston, so it's a bad storm.
So it's going to last till tomorrow afternoon now is what they're saying? So really start up in full force later this afternoon.
Al says here, late this afternoon through the evening tonight, and then, of course, everything moves to the east, so Boston gets what we have tomorrow and later tonight. Yuck. Anyway, yeah, yuck is right. Inside the studio, I'm Matt Lauer, along with Katie Couric. And coming up in this half hour, authorities have been investigating a series of fires out west that have cost millions of dollars in damage. They were purposely set by a group that says they're out to protect the earth. We're going to find out about that group in just a few minutes.
Meanwhile, we get inundated constantly with medical information. As a result, many of us are very confused. So Dr. Judith Reichman will be here with a segment on women's health this morning. She's going to try to help us sort out through some of the often conflicting information on pap smears, soy, and the birth control pill. She'll also be along to answer your email questions a bit later in the program.
That's such a good idea because one day you can be told one thing and a week later you hear something completely opposite and you kind of just freeze. It makes you numb almost. So it's good to hear that people, I don't get completely numb, but I saw that look. Anyway, oh gosh.
Numb?
8:31, let's get a check of the weather from Mr. Roker.
You getting some dental work done or something? Completely numb. Well, okay. Hey, we got this nice lady from Alabama. It's your birthday?
Yes.
Well, happy birthday. And used all your lipstick.
We
when
did.
You're
We did.
Well, thank you for coming down. Let's check your weather. We've been talking about here in the Northeast, but out west, they're getting socked as well. Take a look. You can see on the radar, California, southern and central California. We've got ice falling off the buildings out here. A little rough. Let's go underneath the radar, show you what we're expecting. Coastal flood warnings for San Luis Obispo County, gale warnings, flood warnings, 2 to 4 inches of rain in that bullseye there along southern California's coast. So it looks like a very wet one, and they'll be looking at flood watches and warnings throughout the day later today. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Good morning. It is a Monday, and along the Oregon coast this morning, dry there. We do have some clouds and a few breaks opening up. Very nice morning so far along the central coast around the Newport area. Here's a satellite picture. We do have a system coming up out of the south, but just bringing some mid and high-level clouds across the area. So this morning, we'll see some clouds and maybe a risk of a sprinkle, but by midday, as that high pressure builds, expect drier weather, and that means partly cloudy skies. The winds will be out of the east, and our daytime high, 58 degrees.
You know, even though it's sleeting out, we still have our crowd that breaks into song. They're called Something Else, and they are Something Else. Now back inside to you.
All right, Al, thank you very much. Up next, cutting through the confusion on women's health. But first, this is Today on NBC.
Yeah, I miss you too.
Because Verizon Wireless has the largest wireless network in the country, we can offer you Single Rate West. With free nationwide long distance and free roaming, every call is like a local call across 11 western states. And plans start at just $40 a month for 1,150 minutes. Drop by a Verizon Wireless communications store or call 1-800-2JOIN-IN. Verizon Wireless. Join in.
In the lush Central Valley of Chile, it's taken centuries of experience to grow fruit this good. Fortunately, it arrives fresh at Safeway, considerably faster. Fresh Chilean fruit. It's in season and in your supermarket right now. Brought to you with care by the fruit farmers of Chile and Safeway.
I was looking at some pictures thinking, I still look like I'm pregnant. And some people were saying, what do you do? My mother was home that summer. She was saying, I'm going to go to Jenny Craig, and when are you going to do something about it? And I'm saying, I don't know if I can afford it. She's like, you can't afford not to. After I had the success the first couple weeks, it was easy. I finally could look in the mirror and say, for 41, I look pretty good.
Call 1-800-JENNY-2000 today and get 30 days for $30 plus the cost of food. Let us show you the way.
If you're heavily in debt, there's a solution you really can afford. It's not credit counseling or bankruptcy. Instead, we settle debts, many for as little as 25 cents on the dollar. Don't lose another night's sleep worrying about debt. For your no-cost consultation, call us at 866-325-9529. That's 866-325-9529. We're your light at the end of the tunnel.
Today's Woman is brought to you by Rock, the #1 anti-wrinkle retinol brand in France. Now available in the U.S.
This morning on Today's Woman, clearing up the confusion. Today, contributor Dr. Judith Reichman wants to help you sort through the numerous, often conflicting health studies, statistics, and recommendations given to women and their families. Today, we want to concentrate on pap smears, soy, and birth control pills. Judith, good morning. Thanks for getting up so early. I know you couldn't fly to New York, so we appreciate your being here via satellite. So let's start, Judith, with pap smears. A lot of people are still confused about that. First and foremost, I want you to tell people what pap smears are designed to determine.
Well, they're designed to determine cervical cancer and precancer. They won't tell us anything about the uterus or the ovaries or the tubes. They are solely there to help pick up early signs of cancer developing in the cervix.
I wanted you to mention that because a lot of women, Judith, think that they can detect ovarian cancer and other forms of cancers, and it's really just cervical cancer.
Exactly, which, by the way, was a major killer of women, but with pap smears, we brought down mortality rates by 70%.
All right, how often should a woman get a pap smear?
The American College of OBGYN now recommends that all women start getting pap smears at the age of 18 or earlier if they're sexually active, and that these pap smears be repeated yearly until the point where we have 3 normal, adequate pap smears, after which we can do it more infrequently. We can do every 2 to 3 years at the doctor's discretion, but that's only if we are not high risk.
And who is a high-risk woman?
An awful lot of us. High risk is defined if we've had multiple sexual partners, if our partners have had multiple sexual partners, if our partner had a previous partner who had cervical cancer, if we've had HPV, the human papilloma virus we talked about last time, or we've had any form of sexually transmitted disease or are HIV positive. Smokers are considered high risk. And even if we've had, for example, a hysterectomy, if we've had any genital cancers, we still need pap smears.
Judith,
so
I was going to
pretty much includes most of us.
I was going to ask you about lab results because I have read horror stories about a lab report or pathologist misreading pap smears. How can you ensure that your doctor sends the test to a reputable lab?
You can ask the doctor if it's a large lab. There's some new ways of testing that may be a little bit more foolproof, and that has to do with a liquid pap. But I think the major thing is to do the pap smear regularly. And if you're high risk, to get it done yearly. So if they miss something one time, they will pick it up the next time. And those women who want to put off pap smears really have to be in a low-risk category. But if they're not happy about that, if they're qualms about it, they can talk to their doctor and say, look, I'd rather have it yearly. We need a gynae exam and a breast exam yearly anyway. This doesn't mean that we don't need our pelvic exam.
Right, right. In fact, I just had my yearly exam last week, and my gynecologist said something, echoed something that you often said, that for a lot of women, the gynecologist is really the first line of attack when it comes to other things. In addition to the breast exam and a pelvic exam, you should also be getting a digital rectal exam, right?
Absolutely. Over 40, no question. And the fact is that the doctor that you see for your pap smear may be the doctor that's going to ask you about your cholesterol, your exercise, your calcium. We provide more service than just doing that smear.
And should the doctor also be feeling around your neck, your lymph nodes and things like that?
That's correct, and a lot of the doctors will listen to the heart, the lungs, and many of the gynecologists are really primary physicians for women.
Okay, let's move on. I'm sorry, Judith, to interrupt you, but we're spending too much time on this section. Soy. Let's talk about soy. How valuable is it, and what's your best source of soy?
Well, the thought is, can I soy my way to health? And soy is a good protein. I mean, we have full soya beans, and then we have soy protein, which is an extract of the soy, and that contains isoflavones and phytoestrogens, plant estrogens, and fiber. So in general, a diet that's good in soy or soy products, low in fat, will help us from a point of view of our heart.
So how much should you have?
You should have about 25 milligrams a day of soy, which is about 50 milligrams of isoflavones, and that will decrease cholesterol levels by about 10%. And the FDA has allowed us to make that statement. But any other statements about the positive effects of soy to our health are still iffy, and we really don't have very good data. If you look at soy, for example, for hot flashes, there's some data that perhaps anywhere from 40 to 80 milligrams of the isoflavones, which is, again, about 25 milligrams of soy, may decrease hot flashes in some women. In others, it won't work. It doesn't help with vaginal dryness. Bone health, they say, it's going to help prevent osteoporosis. We really don't have very good data. It may help bone health, but we're not sure that it prevents or stops osteoporosis. We don't even know how much to take for that.
What about breast cancer?
Well, that's the big iffy here. It appears that the phytoestrogens in the soy may have a good effect before puberty and less of an effect, for example, when we're older or postmenopausal and we don't have any estrogen. So if you look at all the data together, the North American Menopause Society came out with a consensus which sounds pretty reasonable, and that is that you can have soy at a very young age, and that may decrease future risk of breast cancer before menopause. But taking on soy at a later age, or when we're postmenopausal, probably will not decrease our risk of breast cancer.
Okay, and real quickly, Judith, because I know you'll be back to answer email questions, but when it comes to the birth control pill, is there a reason women in their 40s might want to consider taking it, or really women at any age, and particularly women in their 40s?
Absolutely. About a third of the prescriptions we're writing for birth control pills are not for contraception. The pill does a lot of things for our health. It causes cycle control. It evens out our cycles if they're irregular. Bleeding control, so it's not heavy. Cramp control, so we don't have severe, what we call dysmenorrhea. Endometriosis, it may help stop its progression. It may help stop the development of what we call functional cysts. We now know that it's extremely important in that it can reduce our risk of ovarian cancer. Just a few months to a few years of birth control pills may decrease future risk by as much as 40%. And if we take it for 10 years, we're decreasing risk by 80%. The same has to do with endometrial cancer. And since we don't have a cure and we have a way of prevention, many epidemiologists feel that all women, if they can, at some point in their reproductive lives, they should take birth control pills.
All right, Judith, thank you. You know, you're going to be back because
Yes.
if our viewers have any questions on these or other topics, they can log on to our website at today.msnbc.com, and Judith will come back in about an hour to answer as many questions as she can. And we'll be back in a moment, but first, this is Today on NBC.
In an emergency, only Country Insurance gives you immediate advice from a claims authority. And we're the only company that guarantees it. Country Insurance. Real people, real answers, real quick.
Welcome aboard. Passengers who book tickets at Guess Your Price travel websites may have experienced long waits for bid approvals.
Bid rejected.
You may also expect nausea due to overpayment.
Ew.
And hidden charges may lead to vacation-spoiling rage, frustration, and stress. Don't bid for plane tickets. Log on to Hotwire. A great trip starts with a great deal.
Today, I will make my wardrobe proud. Today, I'll look in the mirror and declare victory.
Today, I'll make my boyfriend say, wow.
Join Valley Total Fitness today for as little as $19 down and only $19 a month. Call 1-800-FITNESS. Tone up, $19 down. Slim down, $19 a month. And feel better.
Today, I'll send my muscles a wake-up call.
Call Valley Total Fitness today.
A series of fires that have hit areas mostly out west have done millions of dollars worth of damage, but they are not accidental. An eco-terrorist group has claimed responsibility. NBC's George Lewis has a report.
Investigators have been taking pictures of and probing into fires set by ELF, the Earth Liberation Front, for 3 years now. 1998, Vail, Colorado, the largest so far, $12 million in damage. The popular mountaintop restaurant took 2 years to build, just 3 hours to burn to the ground. Also damaged, ski lift equipment and ski patrol headquarters. And ELF took responsibility for all of it.
We think right now they are the most active domestic terrorism group in the United States.
Dave Zadie runs the FBI office in Portland, Oregon.
We see them expanding what their targets are, and we see them becoming more and more violent.
The total, at least 21 cases of arson and at least $19 million worth of damage so far linked to the Earth Liberation Front. Law enforcement agencies learned about ELF's involvement in the fires from this man, 28-year-old Craig Rosebrough, an environmental and political activist who says he gets ELF communiques and acts as unofficial spokesman for the group.
I'm not a member of the ELF, but I do believe in it. I do support the tactics they use, the ideology they have, and the motives behind their actions.
Rosebrough runs a vegan food outfit in Portland, Oregon. He won't say how ELF communicates with him, whether by email or telephone. He says the group's aim is to sabotage companies it feels are ruining the environment.
The Earth Liberation Front does engage in illegal activity. I don't deny that. They don't deny that. But they're doing that to try and preserve the natural wild places of this land before they're all gone.
That's ELF's explanation for setting fires Christmas week for 3 years running. 1998, U.S. Forest Industries in southern Oregon. 1999, Boise Cascade in northern Oregon. And this year at Superior Lumber Company in central Oregon. Steve Swanson is the president.
They obviously don't know what we do. We're good stewards of the land. We're environmentalists the same as the rest of the people. We just believe in wise use of the resource. It's pretty obvious that this is eco-terrorism. They used diesel and gas and then some kind of a basic timer to set it off.
The investigation, centered in Portland, Oregon, quickly went national with new fires set in Long Island. By getting ELF declared as a terrorist organization, the FBI now has new tools to use in that investigation. So, the obvious question, after getting search warrants and seizing Rosebrough's computer equipment, why hasn't the FBI been able to trace his email?
There are techniques out there to hide where they're coming from. There are ways to, almost like money laundering, to hide where is the communication really coming from.
Rosebrough insists he doesn't know who's communicating with him.
Since the number of actions have increased, I would feel that the number of people involved are also on the increase, but I have no way of knowing. The group, it has been said, is organized into what are known as cells, and each cell is anonymous not only to the general public and myself, but also to one another.
The FBI isn't spelling out what they're doing to track down the anonymous people contacting Craig Rosebrough. But recently, investigators have had some success. One adult was arrested and 3 juveniles pled guilty to the Long Island fires. Still, there are many more cases to solve before ELF's fires are permanently extinguished. For today, George Lewis, NBC News, Portland, Oregon.
And we're back in a moment. This is Today on NBC.
The new Volvo Cross Country.
Get more in touch with Portland and the news that surrounds you.
Today, there's a way to go wireless that lets you change plans whenever your life changes. That liberates you from having to search for the right plan because we'll do it for you. That rewards you with the technology of the future because you've been with us in the past. Wireless that's to your advantage. It's called AT&T Wireless Customer Advantage. Ask us about it. Only from AT&T Wireless. Your world, close at hand.
Our Mike Leonard regularly takes a look at some quirky or underappreciated aspect of life in America. This morning, he goes back to college to cheer on the thinking man's team.
Think hard. I mean, really think hard about why the networks never get in a bidding war over the rights to televise the national championship of college chess. Is it because the game's slow pace is simply out of fashion with the times? Is it because the demand for total quiet seems to mute the tournament's more colorful personalities? Or is it something more profound?
I think it's because of the culture. Americans are not familiar with chess. You know, they can't appreciate something they don't know.
Eugene Perelstein, a native of Russia, is a college chess star on what is considered the most dominant college chess team of all time. The University of Maryland Baltimore County team that has won the Pan American Championship 4 times in 5 years.
We've crushed Harvard, we've crushed Yale, we've crushed so many of the Ivy League schools. You know, they can't stand up to us.
The only team to come close to beating UMBC in the last year has been the University of Texas at Dallas, which tied them for first in the most recent Pan Am competition. Of course, an athletic dynasty of that magnitude would inspire great fanfare on any campus. But that's college sports. This is college chess.
So how does a university celebrate the success of its chess team? Well, if a school's basketball team consistently won national championships, you can bet they'd honor the players by striking up the band and calling out the cheerleaders.
Which is exactly what UMBC President Freeman Hrabowski did recently, staging the classic campus pep rally with a twist.
It's a big deal when a team keeps winning over and over and over the national championship. Our chess team, give them a big hand.
A smoke machine, a bunch of cheerleaders, a band, and a chess team?
It's our national championship team, and we're very proud of it.
Something doesn't seem to fit. Or does it?
One of our challenges in this country is to help young people to feel good about being smart. We do so many things to help athletes feel like little gods. You see in high schools and colleges, you see their names in the paper all the time. But how often do you see the face of a kid in a paper because she or he is an excellent chess player or a great English or physics student?
Naturally, it will still take some adjusting before chess players get used to cheerleaders and vice versa.
What's your favorite chess move?
But in the meantime, thanks to the rallies, the team jackets, and the banners, a classic college cultural divide has been bridged.
There's not that distinction between the in-crowd, the out-crowd, the smart kids, the jocks, and that sort of thing. There's much more blending here.
Due in large part to the efforts of Alan Sherman, an associate professor of computer science who started the team 10 years ago, then convinced the administration to offer chess scholarships to students from all over the world.
It's a way to state publicly that UMBC cares about activities of the mind.
And when you talk about values in our society, what could be more important than celebrating the fact that people are thinking well? We don't do that enough.
So then, shouldn't we cheer those who do? For today, Mike Leonard, NBC News, Baltimore, Maryland.
That's a cute story. They should do like checkmate. Checkmate.
Walk that pawn! Walk that pawn! Yay, team!
Still to come on a Monday morning, Chris Isaac talks about his new show for Showtime.
Plus, we'll have advice for getting your kids to do their chores. But first, these messages in your local news.
Turn to Brenda Braxton on Northwest News Channel 8.
Who said you have to be a size 4 to be happy? And who made the rule that water couldn't come in pretty colors? Fruity flavors, 5 calories. Enjoy yourself. It's all good for you.
You know what I love about this place? Breakfast. I can have all the smooth, creamy Philadelphia cream cheese I want. A bagel without Philadelphia should be considered a sin. Just a suggestion.
This is a News Channel 8 update.
Good morning, everyone. It is 8:56 right now with 49 degrees outside currently. I'm Carl Click along with Hank Stack. Here's what's happening in local news. They're expecting a whole lot of snow today in the Northwest. A storm equal to a winter hurricane is racing up the Atlantic coast, while another system is dumping up to 2 feet of snow in upstate New York, Massachusetts, and Pennsylvania. The wintry weather should gain strength today with high winds causing huge drifts and maybe some flooding. Airports are cutting flights. 2 here from Portland already we know about. We'll have the latest in the live report today at noon. Also today at noon, Viagra, not just for men anymore. In fact, that little blue pill could be the answer for women who are having trouble getting pregnant. Find out about that new study today on News Channel 8 at noon. And children who act out, the reason may be more complex than many parents realize, and discipline may only make things worse. Find out what to watch for in today's Our Kids Report. That's today on News Channel 8 at noon. We're going to get our latest forecast, weather forecast from Dave Selesky.
And thanks very much, Carl. We do have cloudy skies across the area right now, and that's going to be about it. The main storm track, folks, down to the south in California, some heavy rains there. And, of course, you've heard about the East Coast, lots of snow there. Pacific Northwest, pretty much high and dry for the day. We'll have some morning clouds. There were some sprinkles earlier in the morning here in Portland and also down in the valley. They have since come to an end, and it looks like higher pressure builds in for today and for the next few days. As a matter of fact, by tomorrow on Tuesday, many cases of spring fever may be reported. Here's a look at our forecast for you for the day. We do have morning clouds giving way to some afternoon sun breaks across the area. Winds will be out of the east about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Then for tonight, decreasing clouds. Our daytime high today is going to be up to 58 degrees. Tomorrow, 65. Carl, Hank, back to you.
Okay, Dave, thanks. That's it for local news. Have a great morning.